Miracle Boy Boxing, ladies and gentlemen. I am your host, the one and only Hosting Cruz, bringing you another exciting edition of boxing. Don't forget to hit and to like, subscribe to my channel. It's always greatly appreciated. Stay tuned. Miracle Boy Boxing, ladies and gentlemen. I am your host, Hosting Cruz. So, this past Saturday night, we saw on the undercard of Richard Torres versus Guido Villanello fight, heavyweight showdown. We saw one of, if not the best prospect in boxing, Abdullah Mason, 18-0, 16 explosive KOs. Turned in another impressive KO thunderous victory over Carlos Ornelas out of Mexico. 28 wins, 4 losses, 15 KOs. The most experienced opponent Abdullah Mason has ever fought. Now, the original opponent in Giovanni Cabreras was the original opponent. He's known for giving Pitbull Cruz a tough fight going to distance, and many felt Giovanni won that fight, but he got injured coming for the fight with Mason. So Mr. Ornelas was a last-minute replacement, and sometimes that can be dangerous. That can be very dangerous because you're training for someone else. You've been training for someone else, studying that person, studying that fighter, and then all of a sudden, like what? A week notice, you gotta adjust now to a new opponent, a different style, what he brings to the table, etc. And when the bell rung, Abdullah Mason got his explosive KO victory, but it was a bit of a struggle to get there because Carlos Ornelas brought a very slick, awkward style. And as we saw in the fight, Abdullah Mason was throwing his punches with mean and bad intentions, trying to get that KO, and in spots, landing his jab, throwing combinations, and landing titanic shots, but at the same time, he was missing and overextending and just trying too hard to get the knockout. Because Ornelas, based on what we saw, brought a pretty good defense as well. Like I said, he was very slippy in there. He was hard to hit at times. And he did not make things easy for the young phenom in Abdullah Mason. But all in all, he still looked impressive. He got the explosive KO that we've known to see. Abdullah Mason, when he's on the card, he's going to steal the show. Now, it was an impressive performance. The only thing I take away from this performance was loading up on every shot that Mason threw. Mason, even though Mason threw his jabs at times and was throwing combinations at times, most of the time he would load up instead of just letting his hands go. Instead of just letting his hands go and keeping his hands busy, he would throw for the knockout shot, and that's what made Ornelas see almost every shot coming and was able to utilize his slick style in there and make things a bit slippery for Abdullah Mason. Because I was like, man, this guy's slick in there. He's making Abdullah Mason miss repeatedly a lot. And Abdullah Mason is just swinging away with with power and trying too hard to get the knockout. Eventually he got it. He was able to drop Ornelas twice prior to the KO victory. And each KO, each knockdown, because Ornelas took a knee, was off a thunderous shot. Like we all know, Abdullah Mason can crack. His power is real, and eventually the KO came. The KO came. It was on paper supposed to be Mason's toughest test, based on the experience that Carlos Ornelas was bringing, because Carlos Ornelas was known to go in the distance with super featherweight world champion, WBO champion Rafael Espinosa, who is one of the top fighters in boxing today, one of the top Mexican fighters in the world today. So he's known to go in the distance 10 rounds with him. So bringing that experience, bringing that slick style, gave Abdullah Mason trouble. But Abdullah Mason pulled it off. He was able to get the knockout victory. And I was telling myself, Abdullah Mason cannot go the distance with this guy because they're going to go after him. The fans are going to jump on him in the comment section. Oh, he got exposed. He ain't what he is, or what you all thought, because he couldn't do what he normally does and get an explosive knockout. So he got it. He struggled a bit to get it, but he got it. All in all, the job is done. Abdullah Mason moves on. 18-0 now, 16 KOs. And he's on the fast track to a world title, man. Mason's going to be fighting for that world title. Definitely next year, I can see it. And he's ready, man. He's ready. He was supposed to fight Giovanni Carrera, but the fight fell off because Giovanni got injured. But maybe that fight may happen later on this year. And that would have been an interesting test for Abdullah Mason. Abdullah Mason, man, he's one of the top 135 prospects, the best prospect in boxing, in my opinion. And when that time comes for that world title shot, man, he's going to blow the roof off wherever he fights. And whoever is in front of him in that title fight is definitely in for a fight. You know, fights with Keyshawn Davis, Shakur Stevenson, any top lightweight. Edwin de los Santos, Abdullah Mason, he's as talented as a fighter he is, not explosive and exciting. He's in a shark-infested weight class. You know, there's no easy fight in there. But even Andy Cruz is in there, Tank Davis, and Lamont Roach, who gave Tank a hell of a fight. So many felt he won the fight, is also there. So Abdullah Mason, like I said, as talented as he is, he's in a very competitive weight class, one of the most competitive weight class in boxing today. And yeah, I'm always looking forward to this kid's next fight, man. He's always exciting to watch, impresses every fight. In the comment section, fans are like, man, you just fought about a month ago, and here you are again. And that's a good thing, because it's rare to see the type of activity Mason is doing in boxing today. You know, fighting four times a year, you rarely see that nowadays. Is a throwback attitude, throwback movements that Mason is doing, and it's good for boxing. It's good for Abdullah Mason fans because they get to see him more often, and it's a good thing. It's a good thing. So yeah, I'm looking forward to what's next. Hopefully we get the Giovanni fight, and or someone in the top 15, top 10, because Abdullah Mason is definitely ready to fight any top 10, any top 135 pounder in the world. He's that talented. He's that ahead of his time. And yeah, anybody can get the smoke with Abdullah Mason. Miracle Boy Boxing, ladies and gentlemen. I'm your host, Jose Cruz. Don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel. It is always a pleasure to talk to you guys about boxing. I'll see you guys in my next video. Peace.